So order entry, Trello, you had your accounting package, you had your then you had PowerPoint, which you were using a lot of.
Yep.
In those early days, we often refer to this application of apps and tools as like buying point solutions. So we have a problem and then we go find an app for that. And then what ends up happening is we end up stacking all these apps on top of each other. And as I mentioned, it's a Frankenstein. It moves really slow. And eventually you got like 20 apps running your business. How did these multiple apps contribute to the chaos before you joined commonsku? Like, how hard was it dipping in and out of all of those applications?
I think definitely one of the hardest part was obviously that they didn't connect in any way. And so
Yeah.
when whatever we're entering into an Excel form, it's very manual entry. There's a lot of room for human error.
Mm.
And I think that was ultimately one of the biggest pieces. We were using the Excel template we were using it was dark days. It was the links were constantly broken. The formulas were we were never 100% sure if we could trust what we were doing, and we would have to do a lot of double, triple checking before we could send anything out. So we would, duplicate our time on what we need to give to suppliers. We didn't have a lot of we would send the Excel, we would send the art, we'd hope for the best that it comes back how we're hoping because we're typing in, use this PMS on the center. And so we didn't have any proofing or any kind of like decoration matrix or anything. So I think that was a
Right.
big piece of our order entry with suppliers would take 2 to 3 days because we could only be so descriptive on an Excel cell
Oh, right.
and how
Yeah.
we're giving them the artwork. So that
Yeah.
was definitely a big, and that also 2016, we would have suppliers asking if we can fax them things still. So I think the industry at large was in a very different place in addition to where we were.
Yeah. And did you know that, we call this app congestion? Did you know back then that that was slowing you down, or did you sort of accept it as the way of doing business until you saw something different?
I think we definitely knew, and so that's why we so quickly moved to commonsku. I think
Yeah.
in 2016 it was like surely there's a better way.
Hmm.
I have always been kind of in small businesses, but through my college career, I would intern at large corporations and like just the systems that are in place. We definitely were a little bit of a scrappy little hodgepodge of whatever it was before, whatever Joe had from building his business plan and how he kind of scraped by himself. So now that we're kind of establishing really more of a true company rather than an individual contributor and seller, we knew that there had to be something better than what we were doing. And
Yeah.
so we started to kind of slowly chip away at what those were. And my role coming on as operations was ultimately to create those processes and systems and to find those efficiencies so that we're able to scale from more than just 2 to 3 people.